He that loveth not knoweth not God. For God is what?
Love.
For God is what?
Love.
So which means the origin of love is from where?
God.
The origin of love is from God. So if the origin of God, if origin of love is from God, then you will be convinced, ladies and gentlemen, that by nature God is love.
Yes.
You look around you, the handwriting had displayed that God himself is love. And it is displayed clearly to everyone who tend to want to understand this, that God himself under this love has displayed this and presented himself unto us, saying that I am the love. If you're looking for love, you must find me first. When you find me first, you then know the true identity or the true meaning of what love is. Yeah, I go. Okay. So here we must know, ladies and gentlemen, that without this love of God coming onto us, there is no way we can be able to display that love before people. And so this verse 8 tells us, and go to verse 16. Verse 16 says, and we have known and believed that the love that God had to us, God is what?
Love.
God is love. And he that dwelleth in love, dwelleth in what?
God.
Did you see that? God is love. He that dwelleth in love, dwelleth in who?
God.
What it means is that if you are with God, you have love inside of you. You don't have room to entertain hatred. You don't have room to entertain resentment. Because love is in you. You understand what love is. So if I'm of God, and that's why the Bible said that do not be unequal yoke, meaning that you cannot marry someone who is not of God, because they will not understand what love is. And this is the problem that we have, because the way we want to portray love, ladies and gentlemen, now is completely very different. There is a love that comes from outside world that tells you that if you love me, you take care of me, you pay my bills, you cover me, you buy things for me, you buy that for me. But when it comes to tell me what is right, don't tell me that, because you can't tell me what to do. I'm a grown-up person. When it comes to that stage, then we have drawn a line that this is not exactly what we want. But the Bible says that if you dwell in God, you dwell in love, because love of God now is now inside of you. You got that?
Amen.
Here is the theory that you must understand, ladies and gentlemen. And when you get to understand this, you will get to realize that there is nowhere in the world, ladies and gentlemen, that anyone can love you past God. There is no way, because he's not competing with anyone. We are competing with ourselves when we are in love with each other. If you say, I love you to someone, if they don't respond to you, you get very offended. You get offended because you want to be reciprocated to that. And many of us don't understand because we get confused. We don't understand what love truly means. We think that what love is that you make love to me, you buy my foods, you buy my clothes, and don't tell me anything otherwise. This is the only time that I know that you love me. And may I tell you, love is not sex. Sex is not love. Love is not buying some things for you, and buying things does not display love. Can I get an amen there? Amen. So being in love with me is that I can easily buy something for a prostitute. I can give things to prostitute. Does not mean that I love that prostitute. You can make love to a prostitute. Does not mean you have feelings for that prostitute. Because sex to many of us is just some kind of an art. We don't believe it's a kind of a sharing of a body, that two body now becomes one. Oh, God help me. The voice is far away, make it near to my soul. And so we have this problem that and this is why relationships don't last anymore, because we are not in God. And so there's no way love of God can be in us. If God is love, if I need to love, I need to go to God first, because he's the master of love. There's a story that I read recently about a man who met a woman that he's been spoken to on phone, and finally they meet, and the guy was angry and he killed her, stabbed her. Because it was not what was portrayed. That the picture that he sees is not who we see. You know, he probably seen the picture of size 6, and finally he see the picture of size 60. And he go, where in the world did you come from? Are you with me? Amen. So when God is in love with you, It's a different ball game. You cannot compare the love of God with the love of man. Man get tired because we get worn out. But when you love God and you now in love with someone, you will understand that you are not in love with their flesh. You are not in love with their emotion. We're not in love with their feelings, because none of that, ladies and gentlemen, could be stable. Emotion changes, feelings changes. But when it comes to God, that's why the love of God is benevolence. That's why it's not the kind of love that we have. And the word benevolence means that with favor, with kindness, with joy. He approaches that and he's saying that I love you so much that I'm not going to leave you the same way I met you. So if you love God and you are in love with someone, you must be able to display that love of God and say, I love you so much that when you do something wrong, I will let you know. When I do something wrong, you will let me know. You will not judge me. You will not criticize me. You will only condemn the sin that is in me that makes me do those things that you don't like, because when I do those things that you don't like, it is no more me that is doing it, but it is the spirit of this lust that is in me that is doing that. So that's why God said that he loves sinners, but he does not like sin.